Welcome everybody to just an extra to the blog number 26. Um, I'm doing this extra as a memoriam to who I consider to be one of my best friends for a number of years in my teens and in my 20s, all the way through until I moved to Manchester and then we lost touch. I got some news on my phone, which I'll read out. It's from an old mate that's still got my telephone number, but we don't talk very much anymore. His name is Kelly. He wanted to say the following to me. I have spoken to Martin. His name is Mony, by the way, Martin. Mother, after not being able to get hold of him this week. And it's with sad news that she told me he has passed away after a long battle with cancer. She asked me to let as many know as I can. Sorry for not calling, but it's a lot to handle. I will send out funeral details when I have them. Hope you're okay. Kelly. Now, I knew around about 8 months ago that my friend Martin, even though I haven't spoken to him for a number of years, had got blood cancer. And I sent a card and I sent some flowers to the hospital, but I never heard back from him. And I didn't expect to, because what happens with friendships when they split apart, you start to question a little bit about how friendly you were or how much of a friend you were, because I never stopped being his friend, but for some unknown reason he didn't communicate with me while I was away. So just to show you an old picture, that's my mate Martin in the white, and there's a picture of me in my suit going to my first Lloyd's Bank event. I don't think I can get it any better than I have there. And that is me in my early 20s. I'm now in the early 50s. And Martin was one of those guys that we met in a shop, like many would do, a specialist computer store. We'd buy computer games. He'd invite me round to his house. I'd trade games with him. He'd trade games with me. We had similar interests in films. He used to go to horror fests and get the same type of films as I would. I might get something new from the States that's been converted to PAL. He wouldn't have it. I'd give it to him. He'd make a copy. He'd get something from a horror fest. He'd give that to me, etc., etc. And we then went out drinking every Friday. We'd go to the cinema. You get the gist. A real good mate, a real good friend. We'd get drunk together and try and pull, when I say pull, try to get girlfriends by the end of the nightclub. You can imagine. And it was me moving to Manchester. I told him first that I was going, and I said, please come up and see me. Don't think it's the end. I'll be coming down and I'll be seeing my mum and dad. I'd like to. And he said yes, he would. Whenever I came down, I saw him, and I'd always ask the question, why haven't you phoned, mate? I've given you my phone number and all. Oh, I've been busy at work. And then you just get the idea after 6 or 7 years, you just don't want to know. And then the inevitable happened. I got my bad health. I had to sell my house. I had a bad health problem, which meant that I moved back with my parents. And the first thing that happens after you've had your operation is you try and find your friends again. Now, I found Kelly. That meant that I found Martin again. But you could see things had changed. I don't know whether it was because our friendship was always based around trading. If you've got something new, I'm interested. If you haven't got something new, I'm not. But I always like to think of the good times, and that it wasn't that at all. It was just life, and what you need out of life. What's happened with you not being around takes precedence, and therefore that is what's important to them. but he still managed to keep a relationship with my friend Kelly. So there will always be that second guess. But when I got that text message yesterday, it's brought it all back. Do I go to the funeral? Do I respect that he was one of my best mates? Did we have that close friendship that my nostalgic eye and brain thinks we had, and that I wasn't just there to get the newest game from or the newest film from? It's one to ponder on. But I'm going to try and think now of my friend who's just died of cancer, and the fact that he was 4 months younger than me, which makes me all this whole thing about what my blog is more prominent than ever. So I just want to say to my friend and who's with me in this photograph one more time, thank you, sir, for being my friend, and we had some good times, mate. Rest in peace. And with that, thanks, guys. Bye bye.